Hi everyone, welcome to the Whiteleyverse with me, Connor Whiteley, for another daily story with a chapter from one of my novellas. Before I start today's chapter, please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to buy this book and any of my other fiction, then they're all available from all major ebook retailers. You can order the paperback and hardback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore and local library if you requested. Also, if you want the AI generated audiobook, then you can get it from selected audiobook platforms and library systems like Kobo, Spotify, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, Baker & Taylor, Biblioteca and Overdrive. Now, here's today's chapter. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did writing it.
Chapter 2. Commander Jericho Nelson flat out couldn't believe what the hell he had let himself get involved in for the sake of honoring the dying wish of a dead friend. He hadn't really minded the same dead friend gifting him the necklace that was meant to combine the so-called soul of a god. What rubbish, but he didn't want to get involved with a war over a planet by 3 different sides. Jericho shook his head as he leant against the cold, perfectly smooth brown bark of an almost straight tree, with thousands of little branches shooting off in all directions. Jericho had never seen small diamond-shaped leaves before that glittered in the orange, yellow and red light coming from the flames sweeping across the entire planet. Jericho knelt down on the cool muddy ground on the edge of the cliff and just shook his head as he saw the raging inferno that was devouring the valley below him. It must have been a good 2 kilometers down to the valley floor, but Jericho could only watch as trees, plants, and Karis were devoured by the dancing flames. He flat out didn't believe in all this rubbish about the Karis gods and goddesses, but he couldn't deny something wasn't natural about those flames. They were surely too big, too controlled, and it looked like they were dancing too much for them to be natural. The sound of the roaring, crackling, popping flames was deafening, and Jericho was so looking forward to getting off this planet. Jericho loved how beautiful it had been a day or 2 ago, but it was monstrous now. He wasn't even sure what had happened. He had arrived yesterday to try and find out more about this Ithane Veilwalker woman, but no one seemed to know her, and then Imperial and Dark Karis ships had appeared at the exact same moment. It wasn't right, it wasn't natural, and Jericho couldn't help but feel like something much larger was going on here. An explosion overhead made Jericho reach for his sniper rifle and machine gun as he saw fresh explosions light up the smoky black sky. He wasn't sure, but Jericho could have sworn these were new explosions that were slightly different to the explosions he had been watching for hours. Maybe there were new players or ships, or even armies here. He really hoped that wasn't true. He didn't want anyone else to die, and he was sure this world was going to become his tomb. Jericho smiled as the necklace containing the so-called Karis god of hope sparrow pulsed bright white and sent warmth into him. Jericho supposed he was going to miss this necklace and its weird abilities when he met this Ithane woman, but he had to honor his dead friend. "Arms up," a woman's voice said to him. Jericho rolled his eyes and slowly turned around to see a female Karis standing behind him. She was definitely from this planet with her smooth, beautiful skin, extremely thin, unnatural humanoid features, and long blonde hair that crackled with golden magical energy. "I am a friend of the Karis," Jericho said, not sure if she was going to believe him. "Impossible. No human is a friend of ours. Look at what you have done to our world," the woman said. Jericho frowned as the air crackled with black magical energy, and he really didn't want her to kill him. He had to complete his mission. "I'm looking for Ithane Veilwalker. Do you know her? I meant to give something to her. Can I show you?" Jericho said. The woman hesitated, but after the longest moments of his life, she nodded, and Jericho revealed the still glowing necklace to her. She smiled and the air stopped crackling immediately, but Jericho noticed the foul taste of iron, rust and sweat had formed in his mouth. "Ithane Veilwalker, you say?" the woman said like it was a joke. "My forces tell me she's just arrived in orbit with her entire fleet." Jericho had no idea who the hell this Ithane woman was, but he wasn't sure about her. It wasn't exactly easy to get a fleet of your own these days, between the human Karis war, the evil control of Rex's Imperium, and limited resources everyone had during wartime. Jericho just hoped beyond hope this Ithane person wasn't a criminal, pirate, or a servant of the Rex. If that happened, then he might even have to break his oath to his dead friend, something he wanted to avoid at all costs. An explosion overhead made Jericho jump, and he looked and saw 5 white pods scream towards the valley next to him. The annihilated pods smashed into the sides of the valley's cliff, and they exploded. The battle was getting worse. Jericho looked at the woman. "We have to find Ithane Veilwalker. Can you take me to her?" "Maybe," the woman said. "My name is Piper, by the way. A Force name your Rex gave me when he enslaved my homeworld during the first human Karis war. Jericho Nelson is my name, and I don't serve the Rex anymore. I stopped serving him a long time ago." Jericho wasn't sure if Piper believed him, but as more explosions roared overhead, she gestured him to follow her. And Jericho just hoped beyond hope he wasn't trusting the wrong Karis. Sometimes it was impossible to tell light from dark Karis. A possible mistake Jericho hoped wouldn't cost him his life.
Welcome back everyone, it's me again, Connor Whiteley. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's story, because I flat out love writing, creating stories and sharing them with you. If you really enjoyed today's story, then please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithms. And if you want to buy this short story or any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers, and you can get them from your local library if you requested, and you can order the paperback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore or local library if you request it. Lastly, if you want to support the channel on a one-off basis, then you can now buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Connor Whiteley. Also, if you know anyone who would enjoy today's story, then please share it with them. I'm always really grateful when you wonderful people help spread the word about the channel. So, thanks for watching the Whiteleyverse, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day, everyone.